Hey Earthquakes fans, welcome to another edition of Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown. We're going to take a look back to last Saturday's game where San Jose traveled to LAFC suffering a 2-0 defeat. So Stevie Ralston now been the head coach of the Earthquakes for 2 games. It feels like it's been a long time, but it's been less than a week or about a week. What's your assessment of his new style, his new formation, what he's brought in the last 2 games we've seen as him leading the charge?
Yeah, he's changed things to a little bit more of a 4-1-4-1, and I think there's been a really good reaction from the club in general, and the locker room, as they say. They seem to be working extremely hard, pressing together as far as a unit, doing a little bit better with the ball and without the ball. Although they didn't win either game, I thought there was certainly a renewed energy at home against Atlanta and some really good goals on the attacking side. What he's done though is define roles a little bit and simplify things for people. For example, in the LAFC game, you know, he really gave Flo Youngworth the role in the centre of the park to be the lone central midfielder that would cover the back four from side to side and allow the fullbacks to get forward. And because Flo is a defender by nature, he also could drop back into the back to make it a back three when they had possession to keep it and move the ball from side to side. So I think he really gave a defined role there, and that allowed Godoy and Jackson Ewell to push a little bit higher. And Stevie's style is to try and press the ball, and to do that you need to get numbers around the ball. And so he's really defined that sort of scenario of making sure that Flo or somebody knows his role, fullbacks have license to get forward. And against Atlanta, I thought they scored and attacked well. Massive ask to do it on a short week going down to LAFC with the heat and everything else that was going on there.
Yeah, what do you think of Jackson in this LAFC game?
I thought he grew into the game, and I think his confidence grew in the second half, and you started to see a confidence on the ball, some really good footwork, some good passing, a little bit more of a creative aspect to his game as the game grew. And so I think that he knows he has another chance to impress the coaches, and obviously even higher than that, the general manager, etc. And I think he's taken this opportunity to play with confidence, and I'm hoping he'll continue to do that.
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, I completely agree. A tough stretch for the Earthquakes. You look back to Sporting KC and then Atlanta and then LAFC on the road. It was hot in LA, tough to press in those heat, conditions, 95 degrees or so. But a tough ask for any coach, and a tough stretch for the Earthquakes. But, I think it's something that you just got to continue to find a way to learn from it and move forward, as we have been doing all season long.
So it was a 2-0 loss against LAFC. So let's take a look at those goals, because both were on set pieces, and the set pieces on the day were 12 corner kicks to LAFC, only 1 to the Earthquakes. That tells a little bit of a story.
Yeah, the Earthquakes conceded 12 corner kicks, so had to defend 12 times. And I've been saying this all season, I'm not a huge fan of completely zonal marking when it comes to defending corner kicks. It was quality service by Carlos Vela on both corner kicks. The first corner kick, Walker Zimmerman had a completely free run starting right around the penalty spot. And when you got a guy who's 6'4" and athletic like him, to me, you gotta mark him in the box. He has that free run, well-timed, good finish to the far post. Nothing really that JT could do in that regard. Now, in the second goal, it looked to me like Jackson Ewell was a little bit closer to Walker Zimmerman, but was on the wrong side of him, was still zoning, not really got his arms wrapped around him, trying to defend. Again, another free header in the box. Quality service by Vela. And to me, that second one is what kind of got to me, because you learn your lesson on the first one. How do you respond? I thought there could have been more positive response. So
do you feel like it's an individual error within the setup, or do you think it's the zonal marking itself that is maybe the issue on those set pieces?
I think it's a tactical decision for me. For me, I want to see a combination, quite frankly. Have a couple guys in there that are just going to zone, just going to go win the ball. But you also need to make sure that you take 2 or 3 guys to mark up their best headers of the ball and really try to slow them down. So let's look at a couple of the changes in personnel that Steve Ralston has made. Notably, goalkeeper and JT, but also a missing player from the 18 in this LAFC game.
Yeah, I don't think he's been scared to rotate players, and I think he had to. If you look at the matches, and we have to include the Sporting Kansas City game in that. It was whatever it was, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, and three of the best teams in Major League Soccer. So a tough stretch for any coach. And I think Stevie looked at that and said, we need to rotate the players. He took the opportunity to allow JT Marcinkowski to get some time, and he's talked about how impressed he's been with the young goalkeeper all season long and his attitude and training. And I think that, you know, Andrew Tarbell was certainly a very, very capable goalkeeper. And I think he just needed a little bit of a rest after all the season he's had as well. And so JT's come in. I think he does well with his feet. I think he does very well with his organisation. And you know, he's in a situation where he's let in 6 goals, he's actually done quite well, right? And then he's given Flo more of a role in that midfield area. It wasn't scared to give Magnus Eriksson a rest. You know, these are big decisions for a coach coming in and saying, okay, I'm going to stamp my style. I'm going to take control of this situation. And Steve Ralston has not been scared at all to make decisions. And that's a good sign.
Yeah. So finally, looking forward to the Houston game this upcoming weekend away at Houston. Now, Houston is playing in the Open Cup final tonight on Wednesday against Philly. Do you think that gives an advantage to the Earthquakes? Can they get a result on the road?
Yeah, I think the Earthquakes are going to be on the right side of the short week this week. And going to Houston is always a difficult place to play because it's very hot and humid. And Houston is a dynamic team with a lot of fast players. But they're playing in the Open Cup final. It's a massive game for them against Philadelphia because that's the way they get into the CONCACAF Champions League, and it's a trophy. So both teams will be playing their best lineups. It's a game that could go into overtime with penalty kicks, and so the Quakes need to be prepared and take advantage of that. When we looked at the schedule going for the rest of this season, looking at where the team talks about trying to finish strong and win as many games as they can, and not finish in the last position in the whole league. You know, and I looked at that schedule, and we looked at it, and I said, okay, Colorado at home, there's one. Where's the other wins going to come from? Because you had LAFC, and you had Atlanta, and you've got New York coming in, so, and Seattle away. These are not easy games, and so I do think there's a great opportunity for the team to go to Houston on the short week and get a result on the road under Steve Ralston.
Yeah, so another opportunity to see how Steve Ralston makes his mark on this team as interim head coach. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown, where the Earthquakes suffered a 2-0 defeat to LAFC.